Okay, guys, we are live. Hi, and welcome to this video. It's going to be a very serious stream video. Hi to everybody in the chat. We're going to discuss something again that is not good. And Games Workshop has crossed all the lines that I ever imagined actually that they could cross. So this is kind of a bummer, really. And now we are going to watch this video by Jonovich, who, as last time, which was rather recent, well, he basically advocated for spreading the word, even reacting to his video. So that is what we are going to do because he already has all the information. And of course, I'm going to give you my opinion about everything. So yeah, sorry that I am late, guys. Yeah. Okay, starting right away. Let's not waste any time and see what Jonovich has gathered for us as information about Games Workshop's new horrible things. Let me know if you can hear it, guys.
Hello there, viewers. Unfortunately, the Games Workshop legal shenanigans against its own fanbase are not over yet. So here is yet another depressing video where I will be covering their most
It is depressing video. By the way, do we have an echo or don't we have an echo? Let me know.
recent lawsuit in which they have truly messed up big time. In April 2025, Games Workshop opened a massive lawsuit against 281 different sellers from different platforms, ranging from AliExpress, Etsy, eBay, and a lot of other web shops.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know about eBay and Etsy, but on AliExpress, no, actually, well, probably on AliExpress, but on Temu, you can find Warhammer 40k miniatures that are not called Warhammer 40k. I know. Slightly, but it's bearable. I'm going to remove one of the audio streams so it's better. Stream sound is good. Okay, so let me know how it is now. I just removed one of the audio streams.
I was first made aware of this by the blog post from Spiky Bits, but as you know by now, I always do my research and got in direct contact with several people on this list to get confirmation directly from the source. I got my hands on the official court case documents and a full list of everybody being sued. I went through the entire list and then sorted everything from items that indeed seemed like valid claims of infringements to items that should have never been on this list at all. Many of these are just questionable and some of them are just straight up bogus claims. Some items on the list I would consider to be just straight up copyright infringements. The worst offender on the list was probably a website literally called Warhammer 40k shop pretending to be official.
Yeah, that's like that's a no-no. Yeah, you can't do that, definitely. But all the other things that we're going to see, there's just no basis for them.
And of course, Games Workshop is well within their right to take action against that. But this particular type of scattershot lawsuit is very nasty because by design almost all of the sellers will not be properly informed about them being sued. The time frame to take action is very short and it would be very likely that the emails end up in their spam folder. So this is from the PDF document in the email that has been sent out. A lawsuit has been filed against you. Within 21 days after service of this summons, not counting the days you received it, you must serve on the plaintiff an answer to the attached complaints or a motion under Rule 12 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. If you fail to respond, judgment by default will be entered against you for the relief demanded in the complaint. You must also file your answer or motion with the court. So if you do not respond on time and miss the deadline, which is only 3 weeks, they will just immediately consider you guilty of all of these charges. By the time they find out, it is likely that depending on the platform, their online shops would already be closed and their payment accounts frozen. I won't go into the technical details here, but if you want to know how all of that is even possible, you can Google how Schedule A defendants lawsuits work. To illustrate the point, I've already reached out to several people who are on this list. Most of them were completely unaware of the fact that they were actively being sued until I mentioned it to them.
That is absolute nightmare. Like, imagine you have to go through this. I mean, if you try to really copy Warhammer, I understand, but if you didn't do anything wrong, which we're going to see in the other cases, is just absolutely a horror show. Like, how are you supposed to protect yourself against this, you know? Hey, Coyote, hi to you. Jedi, we're going full Inquisition, I see? Yeah, literally full Inquisition. I never thought that it's going to be up to this scale. This is now really, really bad.
This is a completely irresponsible way to protect your IP because lots of innocent people have been caught in the crossfire. Trust me, what I'm about to show you will blow your mind, and ask yourself how this type of lawsuit is even legal. Let me show you some examples. A very big portion of the items on the list are all just kinds of different stuff that is compatible with Warhammer but does not claim to be an official Warhammer product. Things like dice, game mats, carrying cases, bases, pencils, terrain, paint holders. These are all marketed as suitable for RPG games like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, and of course Warhammer. I'm of course not a legal expert, but I don't really see how they are doing anything wrong by saying their product can be used or is compatible with these various game systems, as long as they don't.
Yeah, it's just bases for miniatures and other stuff that you can have anywhere at all. I mean, how can GW claim this? This is absolute travesty. I don't get it.
Don't claim they are an official Warhammer product. It should be fine. Games Workshop has a very flimsy case against these, and at best only.
I mean, there's literally brushes like these on Amazon by different companies, on Temu, on eBay, or whatever places really. I mean, they're not GW brushes. Like, what the heck?
Over the use of Warhammer or Citadel in the name of the listing and not the actual product itself.
And nothing of these other items look like anything close to Warhammer.
If you thought that was already bad enough, wait until you hear about this particular seller. No Goods, No Galaxy is a YouTuber who exclusively makes Battletech content. You can then imagine his surprise when he found out that out of nowhere he was being sued by Games Workshop when he is in no way related to anything with Warhammer. The reason he was being sued was for selling a mousepad on his merch store called Warhammer Mousepad. As it turns out, in Battletech there is a mech called the Warhammer. So once again, the merch he had been selling had literally nothing to do with Warhammer 40k, and any fan of 40k would have instantly recognized that fact. And if there was any doubt, you could have easily found out on the Battletech wiki. I assume they just scraped the internet with some.
Then like go to Battletech or whatever. I mean, it's a Warhammer. I mean, the word Warhammer, as far as I know, is not, is not chicken nuggets. Oh my god. The word Warhammer is not owned by GW by itself because it's a Warhammer. There's other Warhammers in the world, like the actual hammer that is from war, so to speak. Okay, I digress. As you, Daniel, does GW not understand Warhammer is big now because of all of the free promotion they get? Daniel, yes, they don't understand that. They absolutely don't. Yeah, that's what they can tell you.
Like an automated tool looking for keywords to generate this list, and they did not bother to double check, or they just assumed it vaguely resembled a 40k Titan without looking at the rest of the context on the website to validate their claim. This just straight up proves how irresponsible this lawsuit is, that they don't even do the slightest bit of due diligence to make sure people being sued were even selling a product related to Warhammer 40k to begin with. And it gets even worse. Not only is the lawsuit frivolous by any means, I'd also go as far as say it strikes me as fraudulent. Let me explain by reading from the official document. Plaintiff, in this case Games Workshop, hired a third-party investigatory to access defendants' internet-based e-commerce stores operating under each of the seller's IDs. So these are the people on the list. The third-party investigator initiated orders from each of the sellers for the purchase of various products all bearing or suspected of bearing counterfeits of the Warhammer marks, and requested each product to be shipped to an address in the Southern District of Florida. The plaintiff conducted a review and visually inspected the branded items for which orders were initiated by the plaintiff's third-party investigator via the seller's IDs, and determined that the products were non-genuine, unauthorized versions of the plaintiff's products. Anyone with half a brain can tell this never happened. There's just no way they have ordered all of these 281 products and visually inspected them on location and then came to the conclusion that yes, every item on this list is indeed a counterfeit of a Games Workshop product. How can all of these be counterfeits when many of the items on the list aren't even sold by Games Workshop? This is just bullshit. So not only did many of these people get unfairly sued, they also get framed by some lawyer who is like, yeah, trust me bro, I checked, when from going through the items it's immediately obvious to everyone that no one has ever bothered to double check this. This is just ridiculous. Of course, I understand that in certain contexts the word Warhammer is relevant when it comes to protecting their IP, but using AI bot scrapers to just randomly scattershot random stuff and sue them like this is extremely harmful. We've already seen this kind of behavior before when they sued a book called Spot the Space Marine that was completely unrelated to 40k. You know, if it happens one time, it can just be a really dumb.
Yeah, it's like basically you start claiming these words like Warhammer Space Marine, and they don't own these words, I mean these expressions exactly. If it's in the context of Warhammer 40k, fine, but you can also use it outside of that. It's almost like claiming the word warrior or soldier or whatever, you know? Sir D says, if they would embrace community, they could be as big as Lego. Lego allows its users to make new stuff, be inventive, do meets and greets and other events without the involvement of Lego. Well, I actually didn't know that about Lego because, well, I don't own Lego, but that's good to know. If it's true, it's pretty good. Coyote says, God's getting flashbacks to when San Diego bought the rights for the term Comic-Con here in the US and causing cities across the country to change their convention names permanently. That's extremely, like, why? What the heck? It's just horrible. You know, all of a sudden we're going to be scared to call regular stuff their actual names. Daniel says GW has the worst. Yeah, Pro Nation team. Pro Nation team? Oh, Reaper, hi to you. The name Warhammer is from French. Marteau de Fer, Iron Hammer, is from 2nd century BC. How can they copyright it? Yeah, I have no idea. They shouldn't. But how can we protect ourselves? Because me as well, I mean, all the content creators out there, we are threatened by this. And now this behind me is an AI art that just resembles Warhammer, but it's not. And I do this exactly because I'm literally trying to protect myself in case of GW doing something. Although they can always put stuff out of their butt and think about something, but I'm not doing anything. I'm covering stuff, but they can still like make stuff up. I can't even form words anymore. I'm just so shocked by this. We say marteau in French to talk about the old word. Okay, you're the French expert. You're a French guy. So this says I watched a video about this topic and how Lego now has movies as biggest source of revenue. Really? But they like haven't had any new movies though. Premise was if you allow users to be involved, it will benefit you in unexpected ways. Absolutely. And as we well know, Warhammer became so much more popular around 5 years ago, where Sayama Pedersen did the Space Marine animation, I mean Astartes. They started this project, they hired him, all of that. I discarded Warhammer, and the rest is history. So Warhammer became a bit more mainstream since then, and now it's up to Henry Cavill and Games Workshop and Amazon to bring it to life on the big and smaller screen. So it's going to become more mainstream, but this is all because of fans' involvement and the fact that Warhammer 40k has been around for almost 40 years now, and just like 5 years ago it actually became more of a thing, and before that it was a bit more niche, but now a lot more people know about it and actually participate in the hobby or just play the games, and the video games are also more popular as ever. So it's just this growth that is due to fans community, fan animations, and just fan involvement, Jesus, all together. So yeah, we have a little bit more of the video. You're gonna finish it. Henry Cavill will not say for Warhammer 40k, sadly. Well, I you as well, Dadier. Well, he could though. He could, but at least that amount that counts for the TV representation. So yeah.
Mistake, but if it happens again and again, we have to
And the
conclude
movies.
that this company is just straight up malicious. They do not deserve the benefit of the doubt. When No Guts No Galaxy found out he was being sued, he contacted a law firm. Fortunately for him, a lawyer was able to get him removed from the list, but it did cost him $900. And in this case, he was actually lucky to find out in time and get in contact with a relatively affordable lawyer that quickly resolved the case for him. If he had not found out in time, it could have ended way worse with much higher legal fees. Many people online are now saying he should countersue Games Workshop, but as we all know, jurisdiction differs between different regions, and the official legal advice he was given by his lawyer was just to let it go because it would not be worth it. So yeah, imagine having almost $1,000 flushed down the drain for absolutely nothing. So
yeah, this is just very scary, especially for people that don't have any money to deal with these things. So it's really scary for me too. Hey, hi to Hani Mahawi. How y'all? Hope you guys are doing good today. New subscriber here. Thank you so much for being here and for subscribing. Thank you. Hail to you. You're doing good today. Yeah, I'm super active today on 2 of my 3 channels, so I'm a bit like but I'm gonna get to rest someday. It's no problem. I love being here, and I do have to work on new Warhammer video soon. So yeah, I can't wait to be back here as well, not only on my gaming channel. I just gotta focus on there a bit more. Hey Tommy, hi to you too.
even when it's self-evident that you have been wrongly targeted, you won't be getting any of that money back. He had to spend his hard-earned cash to get legal representation when he did absolutely nothing wrong, just because the dumbasses at Games Workshop didn't do the due diligence to check who they are actually suing. He has a family with small children, and obviously he would have liked to much rather spend the money on them instead. You can visit his channel to get the full story on what has happened. Let me remind you that
this poor guy. Poor guy.
It's not just about him. There are 100 Etsy shops that had got closed immediately due to this lawsuit, and about 70 eBay stores that has been targeted as well. Who knows how many of these has been unfairly accused and are now suffering financial damages because of this. This can seriously ruin people's lives, and it's crazy that Games Workshop will just get away with it. I know technically many of these lawsuits and cease and desist kind of stuff is coming from third-party law firms that are working for Games Workshop, and perhaps nobody at Games Workshop has even seen this list before it went out of the door. But that doesn't let them off the hook. They didn't have to hire these lawyers in the first place. They didn't have to attack their own fan base like this. They are ultimately the ones who are responsible for all of this. In the previous videos, I've already covered how Games Workshop is trying to destroy the Warhammer fan community. And if that wasn't already bad enough, apparently now even people that have nothing to do with that now have to be hurt in the process. This is just absolutely disgusting and needs to stop immediately. Unfortunately, I don't think it will stop anytime soon. In the meantime, people need to understand that doing literally anything, even vaguely related to Warhammer, is now serious legal risk. You can
just posting this hammer, this Warhammer, just post it, and Games Workshop will be like, knock knock, we're suing you. Why? Because we are Warhammer, ha 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 ha, or something like this. Ridiculous. Let me get your comment and we're gonna finish the video. So Sturdy says, well, I'm making dioramas now instead of building my armies. What I have on tabletop I play with my brothers, so we only spent for 2 codexes 10th edition, and this here, a part of it, only 2 sets of molds. Yeah, I know that you're not spending that much money now on Warhammer. And I do have to paint your custodies. I'm sorry, I just can't get to it, especially with so many channels, but they are here. I'm protecting them, so I'm gonna get to them eventually, hopefully. And thanks to Men of Culture for reminding everyone, don't forget to get the like button. Yeah, they kill your love for the company, Sturdy. I know. Yeah, Mr. YouTube, it's disgusting. They're just attacking people like that, and this guy with the family, I just feel horrible for him. Doing good today, watching some Europa League finals, then soon about to turn on my 360 for some Forza Motorsport, blah blah blah, shenanigans. So that's great. I used to have an Xbox 360 as well.
Randomly end up on these types of lists, and even if you did nothing wrong, you can suffer serious financial damage and can even have your life destroyed. I think this once more proves just how ruthless Games Workshop is, and unfortunately they don't learn, and things will only get worse. I've already warned the community that lore channels are no longer safe. As I pointed out, lots of channels do way more infringing stuff than the people that got onto this list. They use their official artwork for their thumbnails and content, they sell merch and they are monetized with Patreons and ad revenue. So what should Games Workshop think of that? I definitely would not be surprised if it turns out they are already working on a legal case to shut down all Warhammer lore channels. Unless something drastically changes, I think it is just a matter of time at this point. Warhammer is a ticking time bomb right now, and any creator sticking their head in the sand thinking it won't be happening to them is likely going to wake up to a nasty surprise one day. It would be extremely unwise not to take precautions. I'm sorry I have to be a doomsayer, but as unfortunate as it is, I think the hobby, at least the part that engages in content not made exclusively by Games Workshop, will eventually be all but destroyed if this continues. So please share this warning with as many people as you can. That's all for now, stay safe.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Well, guys, the thing about the channels, all the channels that are doing lore like I am, Luton, whoever really, they are using official lore, official art. I also use still official art here and there, but I'm trying to also use AI. People complain about AI all the time. I know, guys, but it is at least safe for now, and there's some very good AI that I'm able to do sometimes. It's just very close to Warhammer. And it's not our preference, but sometimes you just gotta figure it out. Like this guy right here that I'm using for the thumbnails, it's just the head. That's not the right proportion, but the head and everything, actually, the head itself is pretty good. The proportions are wrong again, but the head is pretty good. So for a thumbnail, it's good. It gets the job done. I want this type of a face. I can't find this type of a face. So the AI is doing it. And our golden Astarte, because our community is called the golden Astartes that they've done with this, with one of the AIs that I'm using. This is the closest thing to Warhammer that I ever seen. Oh, sorry, I'm moving my background. This is like the closest thing that I ever seen done by AI, and I have made so many AI images with Warhammer. Yeah, with AI, sorry, that I never seen anything closer to that. This is just amazing, perfection. So yeah, we just have to do that, not because we want to, but because we really have no choice. But I don't think they will attack the channels, us, that are using also on the thumbnails official art, because it has been in a public space on the internet, like wildly available for everyone to get it if they want to. Everybody can use it for anything. It has been like that for years and years and years. So sorry guys, I'm just very sleepy by this point. I have been getting up so early to stream early, just then making videos, so I'm like a bit too tired, but yeah. Oh yeah, Deadly, I hope so too. I hope they won't. Because honestly, all of the people that have always done content about Warhammer have been making it so much popular. There are many people that have found out about Warhammer 40k because of me too. And my own friend Logan, with whom I'm doing the gaming videos, sometimes videos here, he also didn't have almost any idea about Warhammer or ever thought that this is something that he would be interested in. But when I talked to him about what it is and all of those things, he got fascinated, and yeah, he's now super fan, and he loves Space Wolves and all that. So and that is what I did. I brought him to Warhammer and other people as well. So we are doing this out of love for Warhammer. We are doing this because we really appreciate the IP. But now the company that creates it does not appreciate its own IP that much. Not any more than, well, they just think about the money and all of that. But if they really think about the money, they have to follow the money to the fans, because the fans are those that give them the money and those that make it popular, those that share it with other people and, well, again, make it popular. It's the same thing. So they shouldn't touch anyone with a 10-foot pole that are trying to actually popularize Warhammer. But of course, if there are sites that sell products that are named Warhammer and look like Warhammer, they are infringing. Of course they are. But other people that are using just the words Warhammer when they're not, you know, GW doesn't own the words. Like, what are you doing, GW? That's horrible. Man of Culture says, oh, sorry, I missed Mr. YouTube comment. I would like to see Warhammer banned, where his content is being cringeworthy. Well, not all Warhammer content is cringe. I mean, most of it isn't actually. Well, most of it isn't really. That's not the problem. Problem is how the company is handling us and everything. I don't think Empress can get problem from Workshop, but Empress and don't sell pics of you in Warhammer armor. I don't have pictures in Warhammer armor. I have something that resembles that, the AI images of myself that I have done, that are scans of me, but you know, they're not Warhammer armor, they're just armor that kind of looks like that, but it's not, so it's not original, you know? Well, it's technically original because the AI just made it to be that, so it's not theirs, literally. I think Magic Key should be worried with his whole line of minis. Yeah. He makes it so they're different enough, but in the same time, it's kind of sketchy. He did have a huge statue of the Emperor, you know, and he didn't call it the Emperor, I think, but it was clearly the Emperor of freaking mankind. Yeah, it's not a crime to be cringy. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, they could destroy their business if they keep on doing that, but you know, we can't do anything unless, I mean, except speak out, and if maybe 100 people get together, they can sue them, counter sue them, but otherwise, I don't know. Wishhammer, not Warhammer. Thus, they could be sued for defamation if accusations end up false. Happened to CNN a lot of times, for example. Oh yeah, Tommy, I'm sure, but the problem is that who has the money to sue GW? They're a billion-dollar company. You have to have the money, and we do know what happened with MNG, and he got almost bankrupt by this. A lot of people had to give him money so he can save himself. At the end, they dropped the case, but that only happened after he was so much in debt with thousands upon thousands that he had to pay, and people had to help him with that. And it could have ruined his life. It was really going in that direction until they finally let him go with a warning. But that was horrible because just one man individually lied so many people, 200 and how many people being sued. If they don't get together, it's over. They're gonna get sued. You know, that's the bad thing. Are there many Gundam fans in the chat? Well, I personally am not. But here's Tommy is. So here you go. It's Tommy. By the way, Tommy is a game developer, so he knows his stuff as well. Okay, guys. I'm really sorry that it's going to be such a freaking short stream, but I am starting to work on a Warhammer Curious video, and wish me luck. So hopefully it's ready this week because I do have to go back to that. It's been super super busy in the gaming world, and I'm just being there and there and there. But as I said before, I'm going to have a better ways of doing things. Just I have to get into rhythm because now having another channel, have to make the content for OnlyFans, which is again fitness, health, nutrition only. No corn, no Slaneshi things, no stuff like that, no explicit content, nothing of the sort. So I do have to make my content there. I have to always come up with something that's educational and good for everyone. So yeah, but I am going to be more consistent here as soon as I can. Yeah, I know that I need to rest. I know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. But yeah, guys, I'm really sorry about this, and I pray that none of the content creators like myself are touched by this. But in any case, I pray that they stop it, that all of those people can get away with it, because most of them are not to be blamed. Again, stores that really did in French, I see that, okay, but other people that are just getting these messages in the spam folder, especially you don't know that you're being sued, and then you just get like a bill or something for a fine or whatever. I don't know how these things can go, but this is just so bad. I just can't. Oh, thank you so much for the link, dear Clayton. Why was the YouTube Empress spotted building an army of orcs in her garage? Because she said, if Games Workshop wants legal war, I'll give them a wah they won't forget. Well, that's a great joke, Mr. Man of Coach. Oh gosh, okay. That's a good one. Okay guys, I love ya. Love you so much. Until next time with me, the 40k Empress. See you on here, see you on the gaming channel, and I'll be back with something really interesting. I promise, guys, I will make a good video. Love you guys. Bye bye.